In 2017, I bought a painting business that was nearly 200 grand in debt. And over the next 5 years, I turned it into one of Canada's top 3 revenue producing painting companies. But if I had to start from absolute zero tomorrow, I wouldn't touch a paintbrush until these 3 systems were locked in. I'd have no truck, no logo, and no crew on day one. And I'd still hit profit faster than most guys do with a full fleet. Here's the exact sequence that I'd run. Stick around, and by the end of this video, you'll get a 90-day plan to fix and scale your contracting business. I know most of you aren't starting from zero because you're already in the middle of it. The truck is already in the driveway and the crew is already on payroll, but that's exactly why this matters. When I bought into that painting company in 2017, it was almost 200 grand in debt with a terrible reputation and a crew that just failed to show up. So I fired all 11 of them and I rebuilt the whole thing from scratch while I was living in my truck between jobs. 7 years later, and I sold it fully systemized with healthy net margins. And I'm not guessing here, I've lived through the chaos. I built the systems and I got off the truck. This isn't a pep talk, it's a build sequence, and you can apply it whether you're at day 1 or year 10. So here's the first foot in that I would actually pour. I'd know my exact cost on every single job before I quoted the customer, and I'd build profit into every quote as its own line item instead of hoping something's left at the end. See, most guys look at material and labor, add a little bit of padding, and then they call it a market rate. That's not pricing, that's guesswork. And guessing is how you end up paying to work on your own jobs. When I bought that company, the previous owner was pricing jobs the same way, and I inherited a stack of work that cost me more to finish it than we were actually getting paid for. At 250k, you can get away with that because the mistakes are small and your gut can kind of carry them, but at 7 figures, your gut becomes the crack in your foundation. We built an exact back costing spreadsheet for this, and it's in our online classroom right now for just $1 with the link below. You put in your material, you put in your labor hours, your overhead, and your target margin, and it spits out the only number that you should ever quote. There's no gut feeling, there's no hoping, and there's no prayers, because the number is the only thing that protects your profit on every job. Once we fix that, now we can build the pipeline. You can't hold your price if the phone only rings once a week. That's why the second foot in is lead flow, and it has to be running before you need it, not after you're desperate. Desperate contractors take every job that walks in the door, and every bad job they take is a good job they can't take. Our system is to create a predictable lead channel so that there's never a single source of failure in your marketing. We map out 6 specific lead sources in the free classroom, and your aim is to have 3 to 5 of them working at any given time. When you've got options, you can say no to the low margin work and yes to the jobs that actually build your foundation. 3 to 5 lead sources mean that you never panic when one of them dries up, and that's the difference between a contractor who survives and a contractor who scales. Most guys wait until they fire a crew member or lose their biggest client and then they panic market. If you're sitting there right now with 1 referral source and a prayer, your foundation is already cracking. Build the pipeline now so that you can choose your work instead of letting your work choose you. Okay, number 3, hire before you're ready. Here's the part that stops most guys cold. You've got your pricing dialed in and your phone is ringing, but you're still on the tools every single day. You've essentially become the bottleneck in your own business. That's because you tell yourself you'll bring someone on once you can afford it, which means really you'll hire them when you're already drowning, and by then it's too late. I made this exact mistake over and over and over again. I fired all 11 crew members from the previous owner and then tried to do it all myself. I was on every job site from 5:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and my body eventually gave up on me. It quit in a client's elevator. The first hire is a load-bearing wall for your business. You need a simple hiring filter and a clear pay structure before you ever post the job, because hiring without a filter leaves you with warm bodies instead of craftsmen. Your first person doesn't have to be on the books. It might even just be a subcontractor, not a W-2 employee, which lowers your risk and still gets you leverage. The whole point is to get yourself off the tools within 90 days, because if you're still swinging the hammer at month 6, you're not building a business, you're still stuck in a job. Write down 1 process every single day, and in 90 days you'll have a playbook that your crew can follow without calling you. And that playbook will scale with your business no matter how big you get. So now let's talk about the finishes trap. I'll tell you what I'm going to skip entirely. The truck, the wrap, the big logo, and the shiny tools can all wait. I call these finishes. and finishes are just added costs that doesn't care if you have clients or not. I bought way too much stuff too early when I first took over that business, and it nearly crushed me before the systems were solid. Most contractors buy the truck in year one because it feels like success. It feels like the thing that you're supposed to do. But success isn't what you own. It's about what you keep after everybody gets paid. And I know some of you already bought the truck, and that's fine. You can still stop adding weight and start reinforcing what's underneath. Every purchase needs to pass one test. It either makes your footings bigger or it just makes your building heavier. If it's the second one, walk away. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things, but if you put the finishes on before the framing is solid, the whole house falls apart. But here's the 90-day escape plan, and let's put it all together. Day 1 through 30, you lock in your job costing and your pricing. Every quote has profit built in as a line item, not a prayer. Days 30 through to 60, you turn on 3 lead sources at minimum, and you never again depend on one customer or one referral to keep the lights on. Day 61 through 90, you make your first hire or subcontractor agreement and you record one system every single day so that your business stops living inside your head. I learned systems the hard way after my body gave out from the grind, and you don't need to repeat that story because there's a faster path. Start with the numbers, then the pipeline, then the people, and watch how fast the chaos starts to quieten down in your business. By day 90, you're managing jobs instead of swinging hammers, and your business starts to look like something that you could actually sell one day. The real goal is not a bigger truck, it's a business that works when you're not there. If you're someone who is still stuck in the custom work trap, check out last week's video where we talked about how custom is killing your profits. If you want the exact spreadsheets, the hiring filters, the lead flow systems that we use with our contractors, join us in our online community using the link below and get started for free. Thanks for watching.